Abandon everything to follow you, our King. I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Because the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He'll make me lay down in the green pastures. He'll lie beside me in the still waters. He'll lead me there.
Hi, Di. Yeah, we're back.
We abandon everything. Yes, he will. Follow you, our King. There is earthquakes happening as well. We abandon everything to follow you, our King. We go to sea. It's going to be very interesting. Again, Mike Around the World last night was so incredible. He was so gracious to come on and to do a 1 hour broadcast with me last night on the special moments of Charlie Kirk. We're going to ask him more. Does he have any information? And we're all waiting. Does he have any concept of what this is about? But we're also going to ask him about what are some of the other threats that we face, including Cascadia subduction zone. There's been a ton of earthquakes in that region, 5 times more than normal in the last week. Nobody's talking about it.
Wow.
There's the comet, or whatever it is, Atlas 3I.
Mike's straight on this stuff.
Do we really know what we're dealing with here? Maybe there's more clarity. Is it just an object from the interstellar world somewhere in galaxies beyond our comprehension? And it's a different kind of rock. It's the size of Manhattan, faster than anything. And yeah, Avi Loeb is concerned what it might be, but even if it's not, the mothership, it's still very, 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 very strange. What does these signs in the heavens all mean? Plus, we know that there's a solar eclipse coming. But what about Russia? What about Poland shooting down Russian drones? Well, there's somebody who can help us. The man from somewhere around the world, Mike from
around the world.
Mike, how you doing tonight? Let's try that again, Mike. You there?
Can they hear me?
Oh, now they can. How are you tonight? Did you say you're doing well?
Good, Pastor Paul. Doing well. Yeah, doing well.
Well, Mike, considering all the things that are happening,
Right.
I was going to ask. I mean, do you have anything extra or anything new or information we might need or could use on this Charlie Kirk assassination?
This situation. Hey, I can give you my perspective for me.
Okay, that's fair.
For me, this changes. This is somewhat of a fulfillment. All right. I know the question everybody is going to ask. I cannot answer that. I can't do that. It's much too. It's too sensitive. Right now to even go there. But I'll say this. This incident should give everybody an idea of the escalation that
we've hardly heard of it here in Australia. When I go out and tell Mum or Gabe, look what happened here, they don't know any of it because they don't show you any of this stuff.
That's taking place. And
what's wrong with that?
I know that many people are calling for subdued speech. However, people are going to have their strong.
Yeah, we do.
Absolutely.
And we live in a time now where people are quite vocal. But Charlie Kirk, for example, he was a debater, and forgive me, last night, he's not a Mormon, right? He's okay with the Mormons, but he's not a Mormon.
Well, I think he was in Utah, and I mean, it just happened.
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
Yeah. But he spoke. He debated. And he did say something. He did say that people, don't like to debate. They don't want to debate to get into an intellectual conversation. He said they would rather shoot. He said this a couple days ago. He did, and his so he knew what he was. Facing. Unfortunately, in today's atmosphere, you have a lot of people out there who are prepared. Pastor, they are prepared to do just what this guy did.
Yeah.
This guy.
Doug Hagman we had on earlier tonight to start the show, and he's been involved in these over 8,000 homicide investigations. And he's been already called and consulting on this assassination. And he said, trust me, the chatter we know, there is more to come. Stay alert. There's more to come.
Yeah. Before this happened, the rhetoric was at such a high degree, and it still is now. It's even higher now. I don't think that people quite understand what's happening here from a tactical perspective. This guy, whether he was with other people or not, right? This guy was, even that shot, that was a supersonic acoustic sound.
Yeah.
Most soldiers can hear that sound. That sounded something similar to a 5.56 millimeter round. But
that's an SLR round. I know SLRs.
Mike, could you tell me what that means? I mean, I'm just sorry, but
self-loading rifle.
Supersonic.
Well, it's not. That's a rifle. It's rifle, not a handgun, right?
Okay.
Shot, right? The double echo, the rifle. And because it was shot outside, a sniper, somebody like that professionally would not shoot outside. They wouldn't do that. Plus, he ran off the building. But I would say this guy is half professional and half lunatic, right?
Wow.
And he absolutely believed in his cause. He absolutely did. No one goes up and positions themselves because he was spotted by a few people. People said, "Is that guy on the roof? Is this a repeat?" One guy said, "Is this a repeat of, some other things that took place?" But, yep. And so they saw him. So this guy had, he made up his mind. And it was no secret that Mr. Kirk had lots of enemies on the far left. But that sentiment has not changed. This incident is not going to solve, and as in normal historic times, an assassination always altered policy to increase domestic security and domestic resolve for the sake of peace going forward, right?
Yes.
1968.
And here we have the motive, finally.
That was a big year. All these different assassinations that took place over the history of the U.S. has always contributed into more peace for civilians, life in general, right? Democracy in general. Not this time. This is not, we're dealing with something that's not founded purely in politics.
Let's touch on that, because you're right. Abraham Lincoln was assassinated because he was fighting for the Union. He was fighting for the Republic. He was fighting to keep America together. John F. Kennedy, he was murdered as he fought for he actually was fighting for civil rights, and he was also fighting communism. His brother Bobby Kennedy, another one who fought for civil rights and fought against communism. And then Martin Luther King certainly was the leader of a movement for civil rights.
That was 1968.
68. But Charlie Kirk, he was assassinated because of his belief in America.
Yeah, and it was that's right. And it was backed up. If you notice in his conversations, he would always bring up faith.
Yes.
Always. He would bring up faith.
Yeah.
They hated that. You see, you have elements out there. They do not want faith tied to any movement of America because they don't like America. That's a problem. You have people in this country that hate this country, right? Well, someone ought to offer to have them moved out or something.
Thank you.
But seriously, they're not trapped, and someone ought to facilitate some sort of exodus. Just let them go if they want to go. But this issue is not going to be solved by politics.
No.
Force is coming. Force is going to be necessary this time because it's tied into the root belief of people. It's tied into their faith. Look at the movements that have been taking place over the last 15 years, right? Everybody came out of the closet, so to speak. And from that, once policy shifted to tell an individual they can become anything they want to be, regardless of faith, right? Because that's truly what it was. They were telling people, you determine what you want to be, and don't let anybody's God tell you what
you're right.
are.
You're right.
That's essentially what that was. So the policies were, in a sense, a high state of spiritual rebellion.
Amen.
And they were teaching this. Well, if a country does this, you're going to unleash or allow to operate powers and wickedness and principalities.
Your borders weak.
That have been normally they've been held back by policies, right? Before those policies actually took place, people talked about church. You could go see your friends or something else. Somebody would say, "Are you going to church Sunday?" Or somebody would say, "In church so and so happened." This day and age, kids are not talking like that. Parents are not talking like that. Parents, in fact, I'll boldly say this: parents better not tell their kids they better go to church. That's how the family unit has been utterly dissolved.
Oh God,
it's been dissolved. Children are more like the dictators of their homes. This is what's been unleashed in this nation.
You're right.
Children are dictators. Parents are tiptoeing through their house, trying not to upset the kids, right? For fear of tantrums, all these other things. So the parents have essentially been
made a good kick up the ass and stop that.
Held hostage. The kids don't want to hear what they are talking about.
Well,
because they can look it up on YouTube.
They're also afraid of CPS. The children know they can call CPS on the parents. They put the parents in a real jam.
Right. They did. And that caused a deep-seated fear. And my point is, the entire system of America, how we operate, and what the core value system we once operated from is gone. Conservatives still practice that value system for the most part, but the left does not. I hate to say this, but it's a lot of folks on the far left or on the left. They are raised to be on the left. They didn't choose it. It's a heritage. So they support it, whether they believe. Many of them don't know the policies in the White House. It's sad to say it. They don't. They don't have a grip on politics. And Charlie Kirk, what was he doing? He was explaining that to children, saying, "Hey, you pick your future.
You make the decision.
You look at the facts, and this is what democracy is. This is what a republic is. This is what everybody else has introduced. This is what you're not being shown." They did not like that because kids were saying, I think I'll be a conservative, right? I think I'm conservative at heart, is what they normally end up saying. Well, that wasn't...
As they waste their time in sociology when they're young?
It wasn't liked. So many people began to call for his death. Here's the wake-up call, though. This was horrible what happened. And it's a very sad thing indeed. But Pastor, if you think that shooter is the only one out there who would commit such an act, that's a big mistake.
Right.
You have people armed. You have people that are ready to commit themselves, right, to the point of death for the sake of their own ideologies. In this nation right now, and I'm talking about some of those on the far, 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 far left, right?
Yes.
They're ready to die for their cause. They're ready.
Yes.
Because, and they do not have, because somebody has taught them a very distorted view of what politics is, what America is, what the foundation is. They have essentially, many of the congressmen and women out there who are on the far left have removed Christ from politics. They have removed faith from the foundation of this nation. You
Yes.
don't hear the Democrats, some of the prominent Democrats in the White House or in D.C., you don't hear them talking about faith as the foundation of this nation.
Actually, whenever Charlie Kirk was shot, and it had not been announced that he was dead, there was a members of Congress that asked if they could immediately have a word of prayer for Charlie Kirk. And as they asked the question, before the president of the Senate or the House could call for it, there was this cry. I mean, there was this, I don't know how many voices, no, no, and then, dropping the F-bomb, no.
That's right, because there are specific people who are Muslim.
Wow, I never knew that. I did know the left were pretty bad, but wow.
Right? They practice, they favor foreign nations. These are the same ones that need not be in this country. Not all the left is like that.
No.
But you have a select few that are essentially serving as, I don't know what they're serving as or what they represent. They're representing a treasonous group in this country.
Right. They're not really Americans because they won't even hardly put the flag outside their office. No, you're right. Like they're representing a treasonous movement. That's it. You call it. And it's not all the Democrats. You're right. It's that far left. But that far left is about ready to take the seat at the mayor of the largest city in America. That far left has got AOC and Bernie Sanders and that whole crew standing next to them. I mean, this thing either has to be shut down, this movement, or it will take the country. Am I right?
Well, yeah. And Pastor, consider this. I personally believe the problem, there's been a long-standing problem. It's not been inaction. It's been the wrong action.
Okay.
Have you noticed that it's very frustrating to see the denigration of a country from within? If you're a congressman or a person who loves this country, you start to see it fall apart. Instantly, people get angry. They begin to voice that anger.
Yeah.
That was their stance. That's not the right stance.
No,
because anger is a state of being. It's not doing anything, right? If Charlie Kirk represented anything, he represented a work. He didn't get angry.
No.
He went out and did the work behind the ideology of being a conservative, or let's just say a citizen, for that matter. What happened was conservatism, let's go ahead and face it, they had angry voices representing the party. People got tired of hearing the anger. They knew they were angry. No action was being taken. And so they turned into this small little thing.
Right.
And kind of poofed out for a while, right? And then the Democrats, when they took over, things were not working out right. And the people said, well, things not working. It got a little crazy.
Yeah.
It did. It got a little crazy. People saw that. Conservatism came back. If they take the anger position again, they're going to lose it again.
Yeah, they can't do that.
Stance.
And are you saying we're being baited with these assassination of Charlie Kirk, or maybe there might be another one or another one? Certainly the
there'll be more. There'll be more.
There'll be more.
There's going to be more, and you can't even trust the origin of the shooter, because I guarantee you. Here's what right before he died, you know what the personal discussion was? It was that the left, right?
Yeah.
Is peaceful.
Wow.
That's what the conversation was. That's what the gentleman was talking to Charlie Kirk about.
And then
That
they was
the
shot.
left was peaceful and then it was shot. You cannot trust the origin of the shooter, right? I can't emphasize that enough. Meaning,
Mhm.
you don't know if that guy, what affiliation
Now you don't know whose side's for who, isn't it?
this guy had.
Mm-mm.
You don't know, right? There's some strange things around this whole thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I say that because we have systems. For example, suppose a city was out of order and they wanted to go and get some gang leader. Do you not know that within 500 milliseconds, that guy, all the information on whoever that guy is, can be pulled back. He can be identified, located without a name, and a round would put a 1/4-inch hole in that guy. All of this would happen within 1 second.
Really?
Yes. These are capabilities.
Mike, do we know who this guy
that are
is?
real.
I mean, I saw the grainy. We got released the grainy foot photos, but now we're given very clear, sharp photos. Do we know who this guy is? I mean, we got the gun. Whose gun was? Whose name was the gun registered in? Do we know who this guy is?
Well,
Are we just not being told who this guy is?
they have a name.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
gotta have a name.
Okay, so, what is this, 9/11? They have a name. But they want to clarify some information, right, for
Okay.
the public.
Okay.
This is very touching. This could explode. This could make things look bad on many different.
Was it touchy because
angles.
of what? We just had a shooting in Minnesota. The shooting in.
Yeah,
I don't want to go.
because
I don't want to go there.
this
on
was
YouTube, you know.
Just say this was a successful assassination. That's why.
Okay.
Right? And because this gentleman was so influential. I mean, nobody knew J.D. Vance. And it was Mr. Kirk.
Yep.
Who influenced
President Trump.
Trump's son, his son, right,
Don Jr.
to get him back in the fold. Elon Musk, the same thing. It was Kirk who influenced President Trump to get him back into the fold.
Yes, it was.
In fact, he was responsible for many people in conservatism with the MAGA group to get them back in there, because once MAGA is done with someone, you can't get anybody back in there, right? But Charlie Kirk was this voice of peace that could conversate with both MAGA Democrats and everybody else. So he was extremely critical to what was happening to the election, everything else. The people, however, who stand against all of this, they're numerous. They're everywhere, and they're armed. Right?
Yeah. Charlie Kirk was also, Mike, a serious supporter behind Israel.
Yes.
He loved Israel. And of course, he's a Christian. He followed the Bible.
Diane, they sold a caravan park where we are, up here, and there's enough room. They're going to build so many tall skyscraper. We haven't got skyscrapers here on the Central Coast. So this is going to be one of them 15-minute cities. And I'm within the 15 minutes already. So I'm okay there.
Bible.
Yeah.
So do you think that, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of potential, at least 3 different camps that could have wanted to take him out.
Oh boy. As much as I hate to say this,
Mm-hmm.
I do not think a foreign power had, if any nefarious thing took place, I do not think it's a foreign power.
Yeah. It was
And it's so sad.
In other words, no one will be game to touch it.
Yeah.
I do not think it's foreign power. And because of that, force is going to have to be used to alter domestic policy.
Yeah.
We're going to have that. It's not going to stop here. In fact, this will embolden those who would attempt to do it to somebody else. He did the exact same thing. This thing is going to happen again and again. But it's also a wake-up call for everybody who believes in Christ.
So I can,
because it does.
one
Go
second.
ahead.
I want to clarify something in the chat room. Trust me, Charlie Kirk was a supporter of Israel.
He was.
He went to Israel. He loved Israel. Matter of fact, Benjamin Netanyahu spoke highly about him. So, no, he wasn't afraid of Mossad. I'm sure he had friends in Mossad. Charlie Kirk loved Israel. So you're getting what's happening, guys, and you have to be very careful out there. There are voices in the left who are going to try to repaint the eulogy of Charlie Kirk. They want to paint the eulogy. Don't buy it. He's a Christian. He did the right things.
He is.
And trust me,
He
wasn't afraid of the sign.
He is.
Go ahead, Mike.
Because he did not bolster the new movements that were introduced over 15 years of our time. He was hated. Let's go ahead and face it. If you do not support this, the L, it starts with an L, that group. If you don't support that group, you're an enemy, period.
I know.
That's a fact. You're an enemy. You're just an enemy. And then you have people behind that would rather have anarchy than anything else. So, Pastor, I say this, that he knew what he was getting into. He faced it every single day.
Yes, he did.
It was a real security was a big issue with him. They dropped the ball during this school dynamic. They dropped the ball. They looked at the location. Law enforcement that was local there said that they dropped the ball too. Because of where it was.
They thought he was in friendly territory.
That's right, because of where it was, and they dropped the ball. So now, everything will change, in my opinion. Because I'll say it, somehow I've seen this before. Somehow I know exactly where this is going. There's going to be forced use to change. Domestic policy is going to have to shift. Anytime you have the populace out of control, or a big portion of it, there has to be some sort of mechanism in place to get things back in order, right? There's an enemy in the USA, and you have to get things back in order. It won't be about Democrats or Republicans.
Right.
It's not going to be about that. It's going to be about those who respect this country and those who don't.
Mike,
there are many who don't respect this country.
Amen. Sorry. Mike, also, just quickly, and just to, we'll come back to Charlie Kirk in a minute. Russia, really they hit Kiev with 800 drones. It was during the blood moon, the night of the blood moon. But also, they flew drones into dozens, apparently, but at least 10 into Poland. That wasn't an accident. I mean, these drones just don't go off on their own unless the AI is directing them. But Poland shot them down on behalf of NATO. Mike, what does this mean? Where are we going here?
8 days ago, Poland increased its defense force operatives on their line at the border. They knew it was coming.
Wow.
Because Putin told them he was coming. So they knew it was coming.
Was he testing?
Well, he's communicating his clear intent of what he's about to do. These are not normal times, right? They're not normal times. In fact, even for the body of Christ, I believe that people are a bit shaken up right now, right? Part of me I think it's nothing happens on accident. Satan is not running around doing what he wants to do. He's not. God did not go asleep. He's not, he can hear and see everything. In fact, Satan couldn't even exist without God's express approval moment to moment. So Satan's not out of control. So what is all this for? From a kingdom standpoint, Pastor, I believe we're in a time right now. It's not like any other time that anybody can compare to history. These are not normal things. In fact, iniquity is rising. We can see that. Everybody is talking about iniquity right now, especially with this act. But in the Bible, Doesn't it say when the wicked spring forth as grass and all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever?
Yes, it does.
That's a sign. That's a marker. That's a sign. It also says in Joel, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get ye down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for the wickedness is great.
Yes.
So wickedness, when it spreads, is a clear indicator of the harvest. That's when God says, put the sickle in.
Yes.
So the worse it gets, this is telling all of us what it's going to look like when the harvest happens.
So in other words, the worse it gets, the closer we are, the harvest is coming.
Right. It's a sign.
That means revival
is a sign. That's right. It's a sign. Yeah, but you see how the church, if the church is not careful, they're going to be offended by what's happening. We have to remember that the Lord oversees everything. Charlie Kirk right now, he made it. He finished his race.
Yes, he
is. He would not want to come back here.
Not now. No.
He wouldn't.
Funny they're not mentioning Christ at all.
He wouldn't. My heart goes out to the family that is still here. They may not have that full understanding. They have grief for missing him. I get that. My heart goes out to them big time. As a Christian, though, instead of becoming angry at the other side, he did a work.
Yeah.
He started. He actually walked into a long durational work that is trying to be stopped by evil forces. Right.
He went into the lion's den and offered them hope, offered peace. Said, tell me why you believe the way you do, and then let me tell you why I believe the way I do. Let's listen. I mean, he did the work. He did what I think most Americans and most Christians thought that the young generation was lost, that it was over. Charlie said, no, it's not over. Let's go in. Let's talk to them. Let's reason with them. Reason together. Let's saith the Lord. And he was able to do this incredible revival. And that's really what it was. And I believe there will be 100 Charlie Kirks that will step into his place. I think they've made a major mistake.
Pastor, that could be the whole thing behind this. I say that because of Luke 14. Whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple.
That's true.
Jesus faced persecution. He told us. He told us. He said, "What king goes and makes war against another king and does not sit down to consider the full cost?"
Count the cost.
So Charlie considered everything and he went forward anyway. That's exactly what the Lord is calling us to do. Because the Lord said, if we, one of those end statements was, he said that what did he say? For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first, counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish or not. In other words, he was telling us, if you cannot commit yourself fully to this walk, knowing the dangers ahead, you cannot be my disciple. That's why the strong language was used. He said, if you don't hate mother, brother, sister, father, now that doesn't mean you hate your family.
No.
It just means if there's anything in your life more important to you than the gospel, you can't be his disciple.
Yeah.
Because you won't commit yourself fully. That when a threat comes up, you're going to run back to safety because you have something else pulling you back. But with the gospel, you're going to face persecution. With the gospel, Jesus said, you're going to be hated. With the gospel, Jesus said, people are going to part company from you and say all evil against you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Shouldn't the church then take a stance to understand this and go forward anyway?
Absolutely.
Right in the face of danger and go forward anyway.
When he speaks church, what church is he speaking?
I believe that the Church of Jesus Christ at this point.
There you go. I asked what he was, and he just said Jesus.
Is going to step to another level or two.
Yeah,
I don't think that this assassination is going to put a damper on the revival movement that's already beginning in this country, especially in our high schools and our colleges. I don't think it will. I think it's going to explode. I think you're going to see it's a catalyst, and I think that they've made a mistake. I got news for the devil. He's made a mistake. And the Lord is going to fuel this with the encouragement, with the power of the Holy Ghost. We're going to be go forward like onward Christian soldiers marching into this war. So, it's very good. Let me ask you. Let's go back to this Russia-Poland thing just for a second, because when this happened, Mike, I'm gonna be honest with you. I almost said, man, we're at war now. I mean, because I think Russia was testing NATO and Poland. I think he was testing them to say, let's see what they'll do. Let's just see what they really do.
That's why he went forward.
And they responded. So now where does this thing go? Are we already in the beginnings of World War III without knowing?
I believe that. I believe that. Well, I can tell you right now, some people know we're in a war, a big war.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're in World War III.
Right? Mm-hmm. Some people know that. Again, America did not know it was in a war until Pearl Harbor.
That's true.
Right?
You're right.
Still losing things and people, but it always takes that big event that captures everybody's eyes, mass death event. Then everybody confirms, yes, we're at war. But I'll tell you something, we're at war already.
Amen.
We're losing troops in the Middle East and in the Ukraine. We, America, are losing people.
Are you saying we got troops on the ground?
We are losing people every day all around these places. This is every day, not every other day. This is every day. So we're already at war.
So we're fighting a war. We're using special ops. We're using drones or different things, but we're losing. You're saying we're losing. We're already losing soldiers that are dying already. Yes. This war is already on.
Yes, it's sad. It's kind of like yesterday, right?
Yeah.
This assassination, because it was publicized, because it was so public.
Oh,
everybody was hurt by it naturally. Yes. But what about the 19 people that paid the ultimate price the exact same day? One of the issues with, let's go ahead and face it, with us Americans is if it does not come to our front door, we deny it or we're not thinking about it.
Yes.
The fact is this entire world is on fire right now. America has relative safety, right? Europe has some relative safety. You have other nations that are totally on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, totally on fire. Christians are being killed by droves in the Middle East.
You're right.
Every single
Africa
day.
And in Africa.
A lot in Africa. Every single day, beheadings are taking place. Every single day. Entire villages are being just decimated every single day. Iran is purging that entire landmass. They're not by themselves. This is happening every single day. And in America, because it's not publicized, people don't know it. They're not going to mourn for them. They're not going to cry for them. But the truth is, we are in the end times. These things are happening, and it's about to explode here also. Mm-hmm. Right? The same things will happen here, but I believe God's grace and mercy is here because of the saints. God's timepieces are the believers. He's not going to allow this world to go totally upside down until the believers are in the ark. Once the believers are in the ark, once they have said yes to him and they follow through with it, they will be, they'll be in the ark and things will unfold. But he's going to secure us first, and he's been doing that. But this war with Russia and with NATO is going to escalate beyond belief. I believe the USA will soon be a target. There's going to be a sea war, a war in the oceans. No one anticipated. No one.
Wow.
No one's thinking of a large-scale naval war right now. No one is. No one's really thinking about that. I believe we're about to see the biggest naval war in all of history.
Mike, are we going to go to war down in Venezuela? Is this part of this deal? I mean, is that a separate deal, or what's going on down there?
Well, think about this. Who's in Venezuela other than,
socialists,
some of the cartels and some of the folks who were normally down there. Who else is down there?
Russia
Is
and
it
China.
Russia? Doesn't China have trade bases there, armed
Yes.
trade bases?
Yes.
Don't they have a lot of assets in Venezuela that
Yes.
are coming up into Mexico, into USA?
Yes.
Don't they have those fast patrol ports there where they can send out their little scout boats and see everything? They have one of those satellite comm centers that communicates with the balloons that fly all over the world. So President Trump is securing the USA. He's going to have to confront some of the assets down there in South America.
I think he's going to do that, and I know he's going to use. Maybe on his cover is the war on drugs, but it's really a war on communism. It's against Russia and China. He doesn't want those guys to have a foothold, a real strong foothold in the Western world. They're already there. Like Cuba, Venezuela, they're hanging out in some of the Caribbean islands. And Trump knows it. He's like, we're not going to ignore this anymore. We're going to deal with this.
Yeah, we can't, because we have a lot here in this country.
Yeah.
Right? And the only way to truly capture them is you have to be quiet about knowing that they're here, and you have to watch their communications.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get them silently, one by one. In other words, say, for example, this week, suppose 10,000 were captured this week, not by ICE, but captured this week, and interrogated to a degree to find out where the rest of them are. You have droves of students here, right? People who are here that own companies and businesses that hate the USA, that are part of the Chinese military here, right? I keep hearing there's a brigade-size element
Here
in about 4 places here in the USA. So you're talking about 4 brigades right
Chinese?
here in the USA.
Chinese?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, because they've been coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. They come in as students, right?
Yep.
They get their education.
Mm-hmm.
They're also gathering intel. They get their placement within the USA. And there you are. They bring in other people.
Mike, you also
So,
you also are concerned about the truck drivers. You mentioned this last night.
yes.
Not that you're thinking that our American truck drivers are just going to go off the deep end and start doing terrible things, but you mentioned that there are truck drivers hitting police officers when they're on the side.
Yes.
Heidi went to work this morning researching this. We found 5 times in the last 2 weeks that police officers were run over by semi trucks while they were on the side of the road. 5 times in 2 weeks. So, and I would love to have got the names and the nationalities of the drivers. I don't know that yet, but
well, it's very telling. It is quite telling. It's very telling.
So you're right, and we better watch it. And so those of you out there who are truck drivers, Mike is not, because I got some emails on that. And I said, no. Mike is not saying truck drivers are turning against America. We know that some of the most loyal patriots, veterans, and citizens of America are truck drivers. Okay, trust me, we know that. But what Mike is saying is the enemy is planting people in positions that not only will run over the police on the side of the road, but they'll run a semi truck right in full of a tanker full of gasoline right into a substation. They'll run this over and that over. It's happening everywhere here in Florida, everywhere.
Look at how many places ICE has actually nabbed illegal immigrants being truck drivers.
You're right.
Right?
You're right.
Just look at that. No, it's not Americans doing this. You have people who are in this nation that they have a plan. They have a plan. They want maximum damage any way they can get it. They're using every avenue. And you know how a person would say, no, it's not us. The truck drivers would say that. That's what the average American would say.
Of course.
Because the average American's not going to do that.
No.
That's exactly what terrorists would use. That's exactly what they're doing. They're utilizing these avenues that are being defended that somebody would not normally think of. They're utilizing that for damage against all elements of rule in this nation.
Yeah. Now, while we're talking about these things, let's go back to this. Israel bombed in the capital of Qatar. The United Nations meetings are coming up. There's a massive push led by probably France to part the land of Israel, to divide the land, literally. Israel can't finish off Hamas. They're so close to doing it, but they still haven't done it, and they still have the hostage. Where do you see what's going to happen in New York? And Trump has already told the leader of the Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas, don't you dare come, okay? Or we'll arrest you. You do not have a visa to come. So, Mike, what's going to happen this September in New York at the United Nations?
A blow up. It's a blow up. They stall. Whenever they come here, they say one thing, right? As soon as it's over, they do another thing. It's almost, it's gotten to the point, it doesn't matter what they say. We know what they're doing.
Right.
We know what they're doing. They had the last meeting at the UN. They wanted Israel to be parted.
Yes.
There are too many nations who already signed on to it. They will do it by force. But here's what they said. Israel has too many armaments. They're too dangerous.
Mm-hmm. You keep bringing this up.
So they're going to have to have some limitations on their capabilities.
You have been consistent with that. You've been very consistent that Israel must be disarmed.
Mm-hmm. They will do it. They're going to do it. They will do it.
Is there pressure? Are they going to put serious pressure on President Trump to have to make some kind of compromise here?
There's already pressure on President Trump concerning that. He's unbendable at the moment, right? And so that's a lot of pressure on President Trump. But Pastor Paul, consider what's developing. Just consider. It's the future of things is very uncertain. You know, and I know that if for some reason the establishment of leadership was altered, Israel is finished. They're going to be finished.
You are exactly right. From within,
all these things that have been altered and changed have done nothing but infuriate the other side. Mm-hmm. If they ever get back in power, it's over. Everything is over.
They'll give the country away. If the left,
they'll disarm Israel. They will part that. It'll end up just like in the book of Joel. Doesn't it say in the book of Joel, the Lord will be jealous for his land and pity the people? He also said they parted my land.
Yes,
that term is in there.
It's Joel chapter 3. It does. And I'm glad you brought up because a lot of people argued with me about it. I said, no, you have to, I'm sorry. It doesn't say that parted, or God will stop it. It says they parted.
They parted. Yeah, they parted.
Going, and guess when it happens? For behold, in those days and in that time, I will bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Okay. The West Bank, if you will, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. I will plead with them there for my people, for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. I think Jesus knew this prophecy, and that's why he said, when you see the abomination of desolation, when you see the Antichrist stepping into the temple and declaring he's God, you better run, because this thing is it's going to blow sky high, right?
We're close.
I know.
We're close. You know, it's just like Acts chapter 2, when Peter said, these men are not drunken as ye suppose, but this is that which was spoken of by the prophet Joel.
Right.
And here we are in Joel chapter 3, when as a continuation, and the land is parted. Yes. And then God says what he will plead with his people. And then when you look at how God pleads, he pleads with fire, smoke, and brimstone.
Yes, he does.
That's trouble from the heavens. So we're right on the verge. When it breaks out, nobody's going to have time to get the thoughts together. No one.
So we better have our thoughts together.
Good night, Doy.
Right. Yes, sir. This is that moment of escalation. You know, when that snowball effect begins to happen, where everything is calm and then everything breaks out. We're in one of those moments, right? This is one of those moments. I still believe it's up to the sincerity of believers. Yeah. God has certainly given the church grace and favor during this time, but
Apparently, I'm the only one watching, so I'm hanging up to you guys.
And there are many coming in. They're coming into the faith.
Yes.
But we can see the enemy all around the movement, right? He's already positioned. He's ready to strike.